Hey everybody, Reflexive Moon here. So today, or tonight I should say, the moon is in the last quarter, and last quarter or the first quarter? Last quarter, because we're going to be going into a new moon. We just had a full moon. And it's in Pisces where I'm at right now. That's what according to the app. So we are going to vibe off of some watery, emotional, mysterious energy. I'm going to start off reading from the musical oracles to set the tone. So that's it here. I'm trying to expand on my oracle deck collection. I'm more into tarot than oracles, but I like how they can sort of set the tone and sort of provide some insight as to maybe what type of question you want to answer. This is just a general read as usual. So we will see what we have here today. And we have Barbra Streisand. People. So what does this say? Fake it till you make it. Love that. It's easy to fool yourself, but hard to fool an audience. And if you can't go right to the top, find somewhere else to go. Wow. Enough said. Enough said, Barbara. Let's see. Let's read a little more into that. So just bear with me here. It's in alphabetical order, so that's easy. There's quite a few artists in here that I don't really know, but most of them I'm aware of. It's a pretty good deck. Like, it's got a lot of really great artists. So here for Barbra Streisand, a phenomenally gifted performer, Barbra Streisand has a voice that has been described as one of the natural wonders of the age. Initially derided and dismissed for looks and a performance style that were considered too Jewish, she overcame tremendous odds to scale the heights of the entertainment world, from popular vocalist to Broadway megastar to award-winning actress and producer. Armed with inexhaustible supplies of industrial strength, chutzpah, confidence, and candor, she is one of only a handful of stars to have been awarded Oscars, Grammys, Emmys, and Tonys. Streisand is the diva's diva, completely in control of her own life and of anyone who enters her orbit. Shout out to Barbra Streisand. Challenging all the anti-Semitism out there. That's off to you, girl. Or I should say Andy. Sorry, I dropped a card. 1 second. Okay. So, this evening I am using the Urban Tarot. I just wanted to check this one out. I didn't realize, because I'm not really a fan of Thoth decks. You know, all of the Crowley-inspired decks don't really appeal to me, because Crowley doesn't really appeal to me. And so, yeah, I'm just going to give this one a shot and see how it goes. And hopefully it doesn't reject me. Oh my goodness. Look what popped up. Cruelty. We're not going to use these ones. I just feel like this is just the deck sending me a message in the sun reversed. Sorry about that, Sir Crowley. Anyways. I'm just, the whole business of tarot cards and, say the Rider-Smith way. Like, Pamela Colin-Smith made the most popular version of the deck, and she is a Black woman, and most decks are fashioned after her artwork, like in the way that she was directed to create this artwork based on, you know, archetypes and whatnot. All the things that go with tarot. And Crowley is like a guy, like this big, giant, rich white guy who traveled the world and basically learned from all of the cultures. And, you know, like this, you know, his decks were based on like sort of ancient Egyptian and Mesopotamian teachings, mysticism, symbolism. And, you know, he benefited from other people's stuff. So his work might be great. However, it's not really his. So hopefully we get a good vibe off this deck. And yeah, use what you have, right? Okay. So 10 of Wands, it's reversed. So upholding wealth, sustaining wealth, feeling the challenge of that. I mean, a lot of people are feeling the challenge of that right now. It is spring, it is beautiful. We're still, where I'm at, there's still a huge lockdown. People are experiencing extreme levels of COVID fatigue. There's crazy anti-maskers out there. And, you know, this is a time where, because of social isolation as well, it's really difficult to be around your people and to hold things up. And at the same time, there's a lot of people that are carrying other people, and that's not an easy task either. So this could be this, you know, like your concern seems to be centered in your ability to sustain yourself and how that is being challenged. And crossing that is the Hanged Man. Oh, I don't think I showed. This is the 10 of Pentacles or discs. And then we have crossing that is the Hanged Man. Or Hanged Person, the Hanged One. This one's kind of creepy. It's like sort of dead Houdini face a little bit. And the Hanged Man is about new perspective. It's also sort of like a plateau that you could be hitting. And yeah, it's just the kind of thing that will be giving you a different perspective on things. So maybe that's what's needed. Maybe you need a new perspective on things. And it could be that you need to change your attitude, which we'll talk about when we get to the, I believe it's the 6th position. So, yeah, new perspective. And 10 of Swords reversed. So that's ruin. So overlooking the situation, because of the way the Suit of Swords is, it's very sort of negative. It's like the trials and tribulations that you go through between balancing your head and your heart and conflict that you're experiencing in life. So sometimes sometimes sword cards, when they're reversed, they're actually a positive thing. So it looks like what's overlying the situation is that things are not in ruin. And maybe that's the new perspective that you need to take. Especially going from, you know, the 2nd to the 3rd position, going from, you know, what's crossing your concern to the sort of outside looking in, bird's eye view type of position of the spread. And beneath all of that, we have the Princess of Cups. Now, like with this deck, for some reason, I'm a little bit confused about the order of the court cards. But the Princess of Cups came up reversed. And here the Princess of Cups is described as the costume designer. And so perhaps it's emotional creativity might be somewhat stagnant. How your emotions manifest might be somewhat stagnant. I'm just going to look this up real quick. So it goes Knight, Queen, Prince, and Princess, which is interesting. So there's no kings in this deck. And it begins with Knight. So there doesn't seem to be any hierarchical order as well in this deck. So the Princess of Cups is the costume designer, having one foot in the dreamy world of water and one on the solid surface of earth. The Princess of Cups has the power to crystallize the stuff of imagination into beautiful reality. So yeah, it's about emotional creativity. And because it's reversed, it's somewhat stagnant. So maybe you need to let something go. Maybe you are holding on to something that is not allowing your imagination to manifest. So your emotions are getting in the way of your creative energy. And you have, like, you're a costume designer. Like, you have the capacity to create beautiful pieces of art that are used in, like, you know, for example, time period pieces of, like, either theater or movies, or like even music videos. Maybe you're a musician or you work in the music industry and you produce music videos. So, or you dance and you do costumes for performing arts. And, you know, this is just sort of a time where you're having trouble, you're going through something emotionally based on the overlooking 10, but it's something that is manageable. It's like the complete part of it. You're coming to an end with it. It's moving into something new, but you need to let that last bit go. Okay. And happiness. The 9 of Cups. So this is where we're coming from. You're in your happy place. And this is recent, so you've been doing well. You know, there's like family coming together again, sightseeing perhaps, luncheons in the park, and yeah, comfort food. You know, watching beautiful sunsets, taking in the natural surroundings with people who are with your kin, with people who are close to you, whether it's chosen kin or actual blood. And you know, drinks all around. Moving forward, immediately we are in a place of love and emotional abundance. This is the raw energy that we're seeking in order to let those negative emotions go. So love in its purest form for yourself. It starts with you. Number 1. There's just me. 1 is the magic number. Oh my gosh, I love Jill Scott. Thank you for sharing your music. Okay. All right, so attitude, we have indolence. I don't even know what that word means, but it is the Eight of Cups. So here it looks like there's been some overconsumption. I did pull this card up reverse, so it could be that it's a good thing that we got going on. I pulled this card in reverse, and it looks like there's some overconsumption. Like, so walking away from the situation, usually the Eight of Cups means, there's a spilt cup. The cups are just like being basically abandoned. So that could be what you are letting go. There's something that you need to let go of and walk away from. But often it's moving towards something else. You're walking away, and it's certainly in a direction towards something else. Here we've got an image of a computer with a blank page. So there's some writer's block happening. Lack of creative energy. So this could be like your attitude is that you don't have the creative drive right now. And I know that's okay. We go through periods of stalemate, stagnation, indolence, and it's just part of the process. It's part of the creative process. So for the outside influences, we have 14. We have temperance. It came in reverse. And in this deck, it's called art, which is totally relevant to the entire situation. So it looks like people see that you're not emotionally balanced. It's known that you're not emotionally balanced. And maybe you're sick. Maybe someone else is sick. You've been dealing with a lot. A lot of movement, a lot of halts. It's just either go, 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 or completely stopping. And, there's always some kind of hot mess going on, right? That sucks the life out of you, and then you have to go through the process of grieving and gaining an understanding, relating yourself to the situation and others, like being reflexive and situating yourself with your surroundings and how you may have contributed to the situation or any type of missed opportunity that's occurred, or where any acts of harm from your end have also occurred. And there's a lot of contemplation. So it's just moving those cups back and forth. There's like a traditional drawing of temperance from the Smith deck. So that emotional energy going back and forth. And maybe folks are seeing that that's not happening with you. And, it's probably a valid observation to a certain degree, but not everybody is watching you behind closed doors. So you're still processing in your way, and it's totally valid. And so for hopes and fears, we have the Ace of Wands. So your process, you want that raw creative energy back. This is so on point. This is what you hope for. This is where your intentions lie. And it is to get that fire going. Light the fire under your butt. What is it that usually does that for you? It's not this. You need to walk away from this. This is what you need to walk away from. This very negative behavior. There's nothing wrong with having fun and having a few. Even, going overboard once in a while. But this, altering your mood, is not the way. It is not the way to channel your energy. You know, they call this spirits for a reason. This will attract what you don't want as well, possibly. There's a good chance that it will. Alcohol has fiery energy, and it will fuel your fire to a certain degree, but it burns out, and it is not your fire. It is the fire of alcohol. So if alcohol consumption is something that you are resorting to cope, that's okay to a certain degree, but if it's causing your creative energy to be hindered, then that's not effective. And it's something that you may want to consider putting in check. And the one thing that you may want to walk away from for a little while. All right. And 10 of Wands is called oppression in this deck. So this is quite dark. And, you know, I really feel like this is relevant to that 8. You know, if you don't walk away from whatever it is that you're holding on to, if you don't let go of, like, if you don't free yourself from your bondage to yourself, you're just going to end up in bondage once again. And it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy, you know, being a victim of your own pride, hubris, like Macbeth. So dark. It's quite the load, you know, when you get to the end of the Wands at the 10, because it's all about maintaining, like, as creatives, you know, you're your own boss. You got to make things happen, and it's heavy, especially when you become more and more successful, right? And if you're still a one-person show, you know, you don't have that entourage to designate tasks to. You have to do it all on your own, and it's a lot. So it can be oppressive to a certain degree. But I feel like this also speaks to, like, a greater type of oppression that has to do with, you know, self-loathing and trauma and getting over the barriers that have been placed, you know, against you in your life, and that critical hope that is required to get through it, to push through, because you don't want that. You don't want a life sentence. You know, like, we have to put in our time when it comes to learning how to cope through the cycles of trauma. And it almost is kind of a life sentence. But the thing is that it gets easier if you do the work. And this is not an effective way of working. Walking away from this type of work behavior is definitely going to get you to this place. Starting that, like, getting your groove back, right? So this is the completion that brings you back to this point. And that's definitely an essential, like, perspective that maybe you need to change and have. Because keeping your circle moving is not, keeping your circles moving may be quite the daunting task. You need, in order to have this in the upright place, right? You need to have this, basically. You need to have these folks. So look to the folks around you. Maybe you're isolating a little bit too much. And it's hard to get out there. You know, a lot of people have really had a hard time and are down and out. They don't want to impose their hardships on others. They don't want to dump on anybody. Maybe you're not into whatever your summer body is right now, because you got a COVID belly. And I don't know, I just think that we all need to be gentle with ourselves. You know, I just heard that tonight from somebody, and I'm really grateful for what they shared with me. And I I want to share it with all of you. I think it's so important that we are all gentle with ourselves. This is not a time to be hard on ourselves. The sun is coming out. We need to be careful with our bodies, with those UV rays, but we still need to go out, get that vitamin D, make sure you're hydrated, and just be good to yourself, and just continue to get through these days, because we need to see that light at the end of the tunnel, and that's a new perspective, seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Getting through these lockdowns and people being sick and having to take care of each other and being afraid to go to the hospital because it's not a safe place for so many people. There's so many things you could just go on and on about, but faking it till you make it. Find your inner Barbra and just push through it all. I'm going to leave it at that. And thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I appreciate you taking this journey with me. Bye for now.